I think of specific students. Like at every era that I was here, I can think of a specific student and think, man, I'm glad I was at Cedarville. If only for that student, I'm glad our paths crossed. Probably the one who has meant the most to me is a guy named Michael Sherzadian. He's a grad student now and just became one of my dearest friends. So individual students, and then events. When I think of events, the events that I think of are, we had a massive response to Hurricane Katrina. That was amazing. Raised almost $100,000 in one offering in SGA. Took about 500 students to New Orleans. That would be a highlight. Another highlight would have been the way that we handled Soul Force. When Soul Force came to campus and they were protesting our policies on GLBT issues, Cedarville was willing to take a risk. And we were under a lot of pressure to put up a barrier and say, you can't come on campus, we'll have you arrested. And I remember sitting down with our administrative team and presenting a plan and saying, how would Christ handle this? Would he put up a barrier and say, don't come onto campus? And we were under a tremendous amount of pressure to respond that way. Got lots of angry letters. But then when the day came here, it was one of my favorite days ever at Cedarville, because I felt like we really lived out the gospel. I remember the last thing of the day. We had events all day long. Our students gave them a warm welcome, treated them with a lot of respect and love. The last event of the day, all the media was gone. It was just me and the Soul Force people and one or two other Cedarville people. And they started talking about their perspective on the day. And one gal started to cry. She said, I'm not even gay. I'm an atheist, and I hate the way Christians have treated gay people. And I came to your campus ready to be yelled at, ready to be glared at, and everywhere I went, people were kind to me. And she said, even if I walked past a group of students and they didn't take time to talk to me, they just looked at me with compassion. And she said, I wasn't ready for that, and I didn't know what to do with that. And she said, and when I talked to students, they didn't tell me what to believe, but they asked me really tough questions. And she said, as I leave campus, I'm going to be leaving campus asking questions about God and Christ that I've never thought about before. So that was probably, if I were to pick a highlight, it was probably managing the Soul Force thing. So Katrina, Soul Force, and then if I could pick only, I don't think I can pick just one other, pick two others. The immigration conference was huge, and not only the conference, but the way that the Lord has used that to start a movement. There's a group called the Evangelical Immigration Table that I've been a part of. They're working directly with the president right now on immigration reform. I was invited to speak at a conference in Indianapolis. I was actually invited to speak at a conference in Washington that I wasn't able to go to. But I got a letter from someone involved in the Evangelical Immigration Table, and they said G92 at Cedarville is a spark that started this. And that's just so cool. And now that G92 is going to be at Biola, it's going to be at Baylor, and all of that started here. And it was a student idea, student-led initiative. And then the one other thing I would mention would be trips to China. I've had, I think, 4 missions trips to China, and each time the Lord just did something amazing. And there was just an unusual openness to the gospel. And there are actually house churches in China today in the homes of people who accepted Christ as a result of the Cedarville team that was there. So those would be if I pick big things, those would be the big things. And then beyond that, it's just lots and lots of little interactions with students. The cinnamon roll thing has been fun. It's just a great place to be. There's something about Cedarville in terms of the way the students support one another, the faculty here, and the degree to which the faculty want to be involved in students' lives. I just think this is a special place, and I'm sad to be leaving it. and really can't think of a better place to get an education for someone who wants education has Christ at the center.